Blessed Rising Soul Family. Greetings to you all, my kings and queens, my gods and goddesses. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome to Soul Family Oracle, where I deliver messages from the divine, the depth of our soul, our spirit guides, and our ancestors. And if you're returning, thank you so much. And also, I would like to say a big welcome to all of our new subscribers. It's so good to have you guys on here. 21K Soul Family members and counting. Today's message is a message that I have had to meditate with, sit with for quite a while, even before I got into this message. And I've just been sitting down for the last 30 minutes with a lot on my mind that I feel is coming in, but not much on my mind to put out. It feels strange, but so this download basically says that for the initiate of the goddess Isis, specifically, that you are being initiated into power. And this initiation into power, I need to explain this initiation specifically as being an initiation that is happening after a main initiation. This is not an initiation to connect with the goddess Isis. Whoever I'm speaking to, you are already connected to the goddess Isis. You've already been working with the goddess Isis. You've been tuned into her, or you've been actively devoting to her, or actively learning from her, or you might consider her a patron. So this is not an initiation to connect or to get to know her. You are already actively working with her, whoever I'm speaking to. And what was coming through about this initiation of power was this is an initiation that is happening after a phase or after a successful period or phase of servitude. This elevation into power is coming after a successful phase or a successful period of servitude. And that's one thing that was coming up also when I was receiving this download earlier this morning, that you are not being initiated into service. You are being initiated from service into power. And what I'm getting is this message pertains to somebody that, again, you already are working with the goddess Isis and may have gone through some kind of initiation, not very much recently, but in the recent past, right? This may have been about between 6 to 7 months, or even 6 to 12 months ago. So this could have happened between the last 6 months to a year. And what was coming through was that this first initiation was an initiation into service, right? Where you were being brought into this energy, or you had activated the energy within you and had fully embraced or started to learn and accepted her as a patron goddess. And through this energy, it's the next phase was you being initiated into service. And this initiation into service was being explained as, whilst I was meditating, what was coming through was, it was I was being shown the life of the goddess Isis, right? And how her, I don't want to say rise to power, because she was already powerful, but her rise to becoming a household name, or a household revered goddess, or a household go-to goddess, especially for women, children, sick people, right? Was not just because of that power that she had, was because she had become somebody of service in that energy. Now, the goddess Isis is well known as the goddess of magic, of healing, of catering to women and children, and also sick people. But specifically, she was known as the healer of the gods, right? And so her healing energy, or her healing powers, were reserved for a select group of energies, or a select group of people, let's just say. But eventually, she decided to extend her healing power to commoners also. She decided to extend her healing power to the masses. And this is how she became such a revered and powerful goddess. She became a household name because not only was she known as a powerful healer who could heal gods and basically help them remain centered and grounded in whatever their role was or in whatever energy that they were in. She was also like a go-to for the commoners to receive healing, to receive protection, to receive wisdom. And she also became respected as a woman of the household, because in her humanly nature, she would teach the women how to take care of the home, how to cater to their children and their household, how to weave, how to make wine, for instance. So this energy, that's that energy of service. This is where the power started from. The power was brewed in service. So it's like, again, this power that you're receiving was brewed in service. It is a period of, like, you've gone through a successful period of servitude. That brewing was in servitude. What has been you being in service. So I'm speaking to somebody that you have been in service to others. You have devoted your time, your energy to service. And I'm seeing somebody like holding like an elderly person. So for whoever this message resonates to, you might be somebody that works with the elderly, or you might have something that you do with the elderly. Maybe you go to the elderly home every now and then, or you have certain programs where you go to the homes of like the elderly to, maybe serve or to cater to them, or just to maybe play games or cheer them up, something of the sort, right? And this is the energy of service. And this you're doing from that light that is within you, that allows you to share your healing power, that healing power that is within you, that resides within you as a form of light. 7:14 on the timer. That's 7 makes 14. Coming into power. That's what I'm hearing. So again, this service, right? This thing that you've been doing or are doing is something that was, and that's what that happened, or that started to like, I don't know how to say it. For some, this could have started after that spiritual initiation into service, where you started to feel really more a sense of like wanting to cater to people, wanting to help people, wanting to offer your energy to people, wanting to offer your healing to people, wanting to help people heal, wanting to bring enlightenment to the world, or just to bring light and love to the world, right? That was that energy moving you into a state of servitude, moving you into wanting to be of service, just like the goddess Isis. And again, I remember somebody saying in the comments that that was just 8:13 on the timer and 8:31 a.m. on my timer. So I'm getting 8 and 4 a lot. 844 would be significant to somebody. I'm getting also 43347. So that's 777. But specifically 43 or 34 might be significant to somebody also. I'm getting also 71, 117. 71 and 117. What else, Spirit? 884, 844, and 488. What else, Spirit? 233-25322, 2332. So that translates to 5. All those numbers. Okay. So I don't know the reason why. I don't know. It's like I just started seeing like a flood of numbers. So that might be confirmation to some people. Yeah. So coming back to what I was saying, I think I totally went off. I went into a whole different space. That's exactly how I've been feeling for the last, like 45 minutes now. So again, that energy of service. So I'm speaking to somebody that has been giving your energy from this feeling of wanting to be of service to people, wanting to help others. And now you are being elevated into this new energy, which is an initiation into power, where it's like you're being elevated into power. But it's like you had to go through That'll be confirmation for somebody. You had to go through this period of like just being of service and just like, I'm hearing giving out your light or giving out your energy, but not like just giving it out, like giving it out to the people that need it, being of service to the people that need your help. And again, being like charitable, being like some form of like humanitarian. And it's like the initiation of you coming into that state. It's just like the goddess Isis being in that state. Because again, one thing to understand also is the humanly nature, is that it's coming through a lot. The humanly nature. It's like the humanly nature had to be established. An understanding or a connection to the humanly nature had to be established before 133 on the timer, before you could be elevated into this nature of power. This nature of power. Again, I'm getting this sense of like something about the goddess Isis being a high priestess, right? And also being a sorceress and being a healer, but also being a nurturer and being a mother, right? It's like this energy of like, I'm getting like this very strong sense of being a sorcerer and a high priestess and this like very powerful being, and also the strong sense of this humanly nature of just being a very nurturing person that is full of light, that is loving and caring, and devoted to others. 1117 on the timer right now. Again, that number is going to be confirmation to somebody. And now 11123, again 2332. So this energy is like the understanding of these two energies. That's because like the goddess Isis is the perfect embodiment of these two energies together. It's like she is like the fine line between these two. Not only is she a healer of the gods and a maker of kings, a maker of pharaohs, she was a foundation of like a whole community, a whole civilization, not a whole civilization, but actually a whole civilization to put, because there was a whole civilization that was run by kings and pharaohs that were blessed by the goddess Isis to rule. Right? There was a period where the initiation of the pharaohs and the kings, right? It went through the energy, it went through the goddess Isis. And in the period where that order wasn't like actively being operated anymore, in that period where like the traditional Egyptian ways were not being practiced anymore, there were different forms that this energy were being practiced in. And I'm getting heavily this I remember this reading where there was a download about this. Yeah, that was also a download from the goddess Isis about the high priestesses of the temples of the goddess Isis that would initiate and heal the kings and queens through sex magic. This is coming through a lot. So again, it's like from the old ways, a lot of things changed. Let me put this down, and I really, really hope I can remember to tag it as the video, because I always forget. So again, from the times when the old ways of the gods, like the old Egyptian ways. I'm not speaking of the old gods. I'm speaking of the old ways of, that period were no more. A lot of things were changed, but they were incorporated into different things. Like for instance, the high priestesses of the temple of the goddess Isis would offer healing to the kings that would become the rulers, right? Or the pharaohs. And in some cases would also be the ones to basically unlock or do the initiation of the kings that would become the rulers or the pharaohs, right? I don't know why it's coming through as the kings that would become the rulers, but I feel like this is highlighting the fact that not all kings became rulers or became pharaohs. Not all kings. I haven't heard of this, or this is new to me. So it's like what I'm getting is like there's something very significant about the rulers and the kings. It's like not all kings became rulers, and I feel like this is really speaking of some of the most powerful leaders, like the leaders or the rulers that ruled over kings, the king of kings, like really rulers of kings. Really is what I'm hearing, not king of kings. Right? And so it's like this is really speaking on how 1444 on the timer, 1444. So this is speaking of how powerful and just how revered and how important this role was, because this role this role really kind of distinguished the rulers from just the mere kings. It distinguished the chosen rulers from just the mere kings, the kings of just bloodlines. Because another thing also is how I'm getting something about dilution, dilution, or not contamination really, but dilution of the bloodlines, of the royal bloodlines, where it's something about the bloodlines not being pure anymore. And I'm not speaking of this from a point of the rulers being inbred or the kings being inbred. No, I'm speaking of it being pure, as in things about I'm getting even I don't know why I'm hearing adultery, but it's almost like I'm getting kings pairing up with the wrong women and queens pairing up with the wrong men. Something about the dilution, or something about I don't know, but I feel like this is a totally different download. It's been a lot coming through. So I'm just going to stick to this particular message right now, or else I'm going to be totally thrown off. And I'm going to forget what I was going on and go be in a whole different space. All right, so yeah, there's something about how this energy after that period was contaminated was incorporated in a lot of different ways. That is where I think I put this down as what I wanted to tag later. So that's what was coming through in regards to that first initiation. That was an initiation into service, right? And now you were being initiated into power, where it's now the period of service is not the period of service is over. No, that's not it. The period of service is not over, but the period of power is now. It's now is the period of power, right? And again, when you look at the story or the life of the goddess Isis, she went through a very tough period before coming again into a period of power. She went from a period of service and then going through a tough period of trying to hold her family together and trying to hold together everything that she held dear and protected and had helped build and all that, to losing it and eventually coming into a state of power where she brought everything back together. And I don't want to continue to the end of the story, because that's a whole thing else that was there, right? With how it is believed that so I'm not going there. So this rise or elevation into power, what is coming through is this energy is it's almost like you had to be tested in order to be giving this privilege. You had to go through the test, and this was the test. That was the test was you going through a period of service. It's this servitude, you being of service and giving of yourself willingly and your energy and being devoted to helping others heal, right? Bringing light and bringing shining your light and bringing enlightenment to others. This was the test. You not keeping these gifts and these energies to yourself. It's so whoever I'm speaking to, you may have really begun to feel that sense of the power within you to bring about healing and to bring about light and guidance to others, right? And it may have felt even overwhelming to you at some point, when you started to get the sense of the energy within you, or started to feel downloads or hear certain things. You may have felt wow, this is a very powerful energy. This is something I need to give out to others. Also, I can't hold all this within, or this is not for me alone, right? And I'm getting this sense is you didn't even know that this was just a tip of the iceberg. You didn't even know that this power you were sensing was just a little bit of just the amount of power you were about to be given, right? But to you, in such a humble nature, you felt wow, this is so big, I need to share this. This is not for me alone. This is meant for me to use to serve others. And not even realizing that it was just a test that was going to now bring you into a much bigger and higher power. And I feel like this is that energy. This is that bigger power, or that higher sense of power that is coming through, or that has come through, right? And I feel like in this initiation into power, it's like your power. I'm getting like full body chills right now. It's like your power is going to be, and I'm feeling this full body chills is like coming from my back, the center of my back. And I'm getting this image of like the wings of the goddess Isis. You see how it feels like it's not placed. I don't know why. All of a sudden, I feel like I know how angel wings are supposed to look like, based on how the wings of how I guess we feel. I don't know. Okay, so let me just stick to the point. So it's just like this sensation of like right in the center of the back, but it's just like really like straight up wings, almost like mechanical. Kind of like how the wings of the goddess Isis looks when you look at some of the images. There's something mechanical about it. It's almost like something, I don't know how to put it. Like there's something mechanical about the like how what I'm feeling, right? And it's giving me that, I don't know, like guys, I really hope 21:01 on the time. I really hope you guys are getting this as it's supposed to be coming up. And 8:44 a.m. right now. It's 8:44 a.m. And I think that was one of the numbers that was coming through. And now 21:12 on the timer. So this coming into power is like whoever I'm speaking to, that energy that you thought was you, was a power that you were sensing within you. What I'm getting is like that was just a tip of the iceberg. That was just like a sense of like just a bit of that power, right? And that was just so it was like so just to see how you would use this energy, what you would use with this energy, and if you were going to use it for the right thing, which was being of service to others. And in you doing so, it's like, again, that's why it was coming through as what? A successful period of servitude. And now you are going to be giving the power, and you are going to be able to do things beyond what you actually even thought you could do, right? And again, with this energy, it's like now you are going to understand how you are going to be of help to people, that not just people, like to kings and queens, to other gods and goddesses, right? Because again, this energy of service, right? It wasn't just about being able to be of service or being able to do these things or having this energy, or it was more about what you were going to be doing with those things, more about what you were going to be using to do how you were going to be doing these things that you were going to be doing also, right? Because again, with this coming into power and now being of service or being in service to people in very high positions, again, with the making of kings and the making of rulers, being somebody that's going to be making these kind of people, healing these kind of people, bringing these kind of people to awakening, to healing, to enlightenment, to liberation. And these are people that are going to be serving like millions of people, some of the whole world, like people that are going to be leading a whole lot of people, countries, civilizations, as a matter of fact, right? Both in the spirit and in the physical. It was important for you to be somebody that understood that your power was also a requirement for humility and service, so that when you finally come into the full extent or the fullness of this power, you are not corrupted by the people that you end up having to serve. Understand? Because it's almost like you were going to, this is something also about humility, right? It was building your humility also, your sense of like humbleness, but also your sense of power. So it's almost as if it's like being able to be humble to the people you would consider less, or not less, I'm sorry, no, that's not what I meant to say, of a lower caliber. Yes, thank you, Spirit. The people you would consider to be of a lower caliber, but also not being a kiss ass to the people that you would consider to be in a higher caliber. Thank you, Spirit. That was perfect. Thank you. That's exactly it. Yeah. So not being arrogant to people that you would consider to be of a lower caliber that you need to serve, right? And not being, not cowering. Is it cowering? Yeah. Or like, like lowering yourself, or like being a kiss ass, or basically like trying to impress people that you consider to be of a higher caliber. You understand? Yes. Because it's not the caliber that determines the status. And the work that you're going to be doing in service to the people that are supposedly of like a lower caliber or less privileged is going to be some of the work that is going to bring you the most healing and the most benefits, the most blessings. You understand? So it's like this need to understand this power or this energy from the beginning and from a point of servitude was so when you come into this full extent of this power, you would know exactly how to use it and know exactly how to deal with some of these people, right? It's like you not being a different person, or, like now being like, be a people pleaser just because, the client you're dealing with is a king, or the client that you're dealing with is a person of power, or like, a high status person. And and vice versa, if it was supposedly like a low caliber person, or a person considered to be of like a lower status, right? So wow, in this period right now, it's going to be very important for you to remain grounded in your energy, because you're going to be feeling like this. It's like you're going to be feeling like a lot of new sensations. You're going to be feeling a lot of new sensations, and you're going to be feeling a lot of like the pull, like the call towards bigger things, like towards like bigger like projects. You're going to be getting ideas for bigger projects. Like, so if you're already into like charity, or you help other people with their charity work, you're going to be getting the inspiration or the motivation to like build your charity, or like do something bigger, or plan something, or involve like a many more people in what you're doing. It's like the sense of this, and you're going to be connected also to people that need your services, that are going to be people of high status, people that are considered to be people of a high caliber, people in like big positions and in positions of power, people that are going to become world rulers also, people that are also being right now prepared to come into a certain level of power, people that are being prepared to come into 27 on the timer, people that are being prepared to come into a certain level of power, because they themselves are also going to become rulers. And so these people are going to be coming to you, coming through you. Again, remember, this energy of the kingmaker, this energy is what is making you the kingmaker. That's that power, right? That making of rulers, making of kings, making of pharaohs. It's like these people, it's almost as if like part of their process, part of their initiation is going to be going through a chosen high priestess or high priest, or a chosen one of a certain caliber or a certain order, to help them heal. And it's going to be like a form of a blessing. It's like the healing energy. This is becoming a whole something else. It's like the healing energy that you're going to be giving to these people. I'm hearing gifting. It's like literally it's a gift. It's going to be a form of a gift to them somehow. It's like it's going to be some kind of a gift to them. It's going to be a gift. The healing that you bring to people is a gift. Wow, the gift of healing. And again, just like the goddess Isis, the energy of healing, like you possess the powers of healing. Just like how, the story of Osiris and Iris, how Osiris was dismembered by their brother Seth and the goddess Isis, with the help of the sister, I think Nephthys. I'm not very familiar with her. Helped her to bring all the parts together. However, there was some part missing, like his genitals, right? And so she had to like perform a higher power, a higher magical, rite to cause him to be able to like, have his manhood for one night or so, something of like, yes, not also, that's exactly what happened. so she could conceive by him. And this healing power, this healing energy, this is what is translating as healing, that healing energy. And there's another download also that I think I'm going to record after this, and I hope I can remember to tag this. Yeah. So for whoever this message is for, I don't know why I just heard Helena or Elena right now. Helena. For whoever this message is for, I hope this message brings you the clarity that you needed moving forward. And as always, I hope you listen with discernment. And if this message resonated with you, I urge you to please like, share, subscribe to help us reach even more of our soul tribe. Have a blessed day.